It's 383 Hewes Avenue in Baltimore, Maryland. And I didn't tell you the zip code, but it is 21202. Okay. Very good. Diane, it's Baltimore with R at the end. Kimberly, almost there. Dice, you got it. Only the Hewes is with E. Hewes Avenue. Michelle, you got it. Very good. Amarilis, delete 1, 3, and you are perfect. Emil, the same. It's 383. Jesus, you got it. Maryland is like Mary and Joseph, like the name, Maryland, with Y. Patsy, Hewes is with E, not with I. Very good. Miguel, Baltimore with B, as in boy. Next one. So my address is 3020 Sundown Lane. And Sundown is Sierra Uniform, Nancy, Delta, Oscar, Wine, and Nancy at the end. Lane, remember it's not line, it's lane. Lane. And city is Austin, Texas. 78723. That's the zip code.
Sorry, could you repeat the site code?
The zip code is 78723. Okay, let's see. The correct answer is the following. 3020 Sundown Lane. The city is Austin, Texas. And the zip code is 78723. Let's see. Sarah, you're missing the N. Sundown. Is Austin, no Agustín. Agustín es la calle de Honduras. Esta es la de Texas. Austin, Texas. And Jesús, Lane, only with A and E at the end. Lane, Austin, Texas. Kimberly, Austin. Sé que se escucha como O, pero es con A-U. Austin, esa es la calle allá de Coan. Austin, Texas. Okay. Francis, you got it. Great. Only the space, we need to delete that, okay? Martín, sundown, no sound, sundown, como el sol. Sundown es como puesta del sol. Así se llama, sería la traducción en español. Lane, city, Austin. Oxide, no es correcto. Amarilis, lo mismo, Austin puso la calle ya ¿de dónde es Amarilis? De Reo.
Villanueva,
Austin,
teacher.
de Villanueva. Oh my goodness. Let's see, Dice. Sundown va junto, nada más, de ahí lo demás está bien. Willy, Austin, yo sé que se escucha O, pero es con A. Austin, Texas. Alex, the same. Lane, no es line, es lane, L-A-N-E. Michelle, you got it? Michelle is improving a lot with addresses. Great. Emil, you got it too. Love it. Para que sepan, la abreviatura de lane es LN. Entonces es muy bueno que lo haya puesto así. Patsy, sundown, ¿sí? So be attentive to the spelling, because I spell most of the time the name of the street, so you can listen to the spelling. And I will repeat it a few times because the internet is kind of slow sometimes, right? I understand that. So when this happens, the sound is like kind of background, right?
Can you spell like normal?
Oh, without military alphabet? Yes, you mean?
I never, but I have to practice it. It's the first time that I'm doing the military alphabet.
Okay.
The first class we saw that too. So maybe
I will send you a picture with the military alphabet. It's in the platform, but I will send it to you so you can have it and review it a little bit. Military alphabet is very important for the future. We need to learn it a little bit. It's we learned it the first day, I guess, but no worries. I will send it to you. So we have Miguel. Lo mismo, Lane y Austin. Es la calle allá de Barranquilla, donde venden las salchipapas. Delicious. Diane, Line, Oxin. Parece así la calle de alguna película de Marvel ahí, donde vive Thor o algo así. Y lo mismo, Lane, con A. And that's all, right? Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Great dictation. So starting with the topic of the day, we have the following question for a job interview. So let's check this out. The question is, tell me about your last job experience. Tell me about your last job experience. In this case, we can include different things, right? Because not all of us have a job experience, but it doesn't matter. It can be your first job. So I will give you a few sentences that you can use to answer this question, right? Guess what? In this specific answer, we can use present perfect tense. So let's review a little bit of the structure of present perfect. We start with the subject, and what's next? What's next in present perfect?
The auxiliary
The what, sorry? The auxiliary. What is the auxiliary? Have
or has.
or has. Perfect. I have the smartest students here. So subject plus the auxiliary plus verb, but in which form? Verb in past tense?
In past participle.
In past participle. Excellent. PP, past participle. Past participle. The third column of the list of verbs. Ya ven que tenemos tres columnas, el infinitivo, pasado y pasado participio. La tercera columna, así van los verbos acá. Plus complement, right? So the first sentence would be like, I have worked with teams before. I have learned about technology. I have learned about technology in my last position. I have leaded for 2 years. Etc. Specifically, we can use present perfect tense to answer this question, right? But we can use different kind of structures in our answers. For example, I have worked with people before, not with teams. I had worked with technology. I had worked with difficult students before in A2 level. I have learned about technology. I have learned about discipline. I have learned about all the options you want. In my last position. What means in my last position? En mi puesto anterior. ¿Sí? En mi puesto anterior. Puedo decir in my last job. En mi trabajo anterior. I have led groups for 2 years, or I have been a secretary for 3 months. I have been a student for 5 years in marketing, in technology, in accounting. And so far, right? We can use many structures here and many answers, but my advice is that you can use present perfect to tell about your job experience. Oh, teacher Alan, but I like to use past the most. You can use past, but remember that past is something that you finished for real, actions that you finished for real. Let's see, give me another sentence with your last job experience. Let's ask to Amarilis. Give me another sentence. Tell me another sentence.
Okay, I have worked with sales. I know in sales.
Only that?
Yes.
We can add, I had worked in sales before or for a specific time for 2 years, 3 years, right? Or in my last position. Podemos agregar estos complementos sin ningún problema. Very good, Amarilis. Thank you for your answer. Let's see. Let's ask to Misael. Misael, can you tell me a sentence to answer this question, please?
Okay, teacher, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me see. I have worked in accounting at the bank.
I've worked in accounting at the bank, or I have worked in accounting at the bank. Teacher, how do I pronounce this? I've. ¿Cómo lo entienden mejor? ¿Así? I've. Porque es el sonido de la V en inglés, que es como una F pequeña. O solo con F. I've.
With B, teacher.
Con una B. Porque no quiero que digan I've. Sería incorrecto. Es I've. Con los labios. I've. This is if you want to use the contraction, which I recommend to sound more native. More native. ¿Queremos sonar más nativos? Sí, podemos decir la contracción. Es algo muy común de las personas que hablan por mucho tiempo inglés. Ya no dicen la oración completa totalmente, sino la frase corta. I've. Perfect. So on this part, you can use any words you want, any verbs, I mean. I have worked, learned, leaded, participate, studied. Let's see, for example, if you don't have any experience, right? You can write something like, you can say something like this. This is my first job. I've been a student for 3 years. I've been a student for 3 years, right? And then you can say, I've studied psychology. And the favorite answer for the people in the church a volunteer, let me check that spelling very quick, because I guess I'm missing. No, it's good. I've been a volunteer in the church for a missionary program for 2 years or 18 months. 18 months, right, sisters? Yeah, 18 months, right?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
I had been a volunteer in the church for a missionary program for 3 years and 18 months. That's the favorite answer for every ex-missionary, right? Todos quieren hablar de su misión. And we can talk about your missions in an interview. Of course, you can say that you have been a volunteer. The thing is that it's better that you don't start preaching, right? If it's not necessary. Because in a job interview, maybe the most important thing is that the recruiter wants to know. So if you had been a missionary, how can you help my company, right? So think about that. But we can always tell about our last experiences, right? But don't go so deeply in details. For those who doesn't have a background, a job background, right? You can say that you have been a student, and especially in call centers, they love when it's your first job. But if you are going to apply to be an English teacher in the future or to be like a manager directly, so what you need to do is tell about your positive experiences. And something very important is that you can't forget about your body language, the tone of voice that you are using. You need to sound confident. You remember on Friday, some of you, I remark confidence, right? Because confidence in a job interview makes the difference between your answers and other people's answers. Don't you believe that other people will say, oh yes, I want to be the best worker in your company. I want to grow in your company. All the people say that, but what are you going to say? What is different and makes the difference is in your tone of voice and your body language. I want to grow up in your company and you will not regret of hiring me. With that confidence, right? With that confidence, you will make the difference and you will be hired and you will have success. You will be successful. And that's the purpose of Fumbal, helping you to be successful. Now let's watch a video about these tips. We will watch a video about an interview, and the host in the video will explain a little bit about body language, tone of voice, and the answers when we are in a job interview, especially telling about our background experience, okay? So let me share with you following video. Misael,
Thank you, teacher. What is the correct way if I can say yo trabajé en el área de créditos como manager y tuve mi equipo de trabajo?
you can say I've worked as a manager in the financial department. There is a department that we call credit department. The credit department exists, but if you want to give a general idea, you can say financial department. I worked as a manager in the financial department, and I had yo tuve, or you can use present perfect. I have led my own team. I have worked with my own team. Que tuviste un equipo, ¿verdad? Pero es algo que podemos decir así, de esa manera. Todo lo que vayan a traducir de su propio pensamiento, mi consejo es que lo hagan con oraciones sencillas. Como, por ejemplo, esto que dijo Misael es un ejemplo. Vengo yo y digo, ok, esta es mi idea. Bueno, la voy a traducir con el inglés que yo sé. ¿Cómo lo puedo decir con el inglés que yo sé? ¿Necesito buscar más traducciones? Pues las busco en internet. Pero yo tengo que estar seguro con lo que voy a decir. Y si no, pues puedo preguntar cómo se pronuncia, si está correcta la estructura, pero así va a ir creciendo su inglés. Con lo que ustedes tienen, ¿sí? Ir traduciendo sus pensamientos, por decirlo así, pero con las frases más sencillas. Porque recuerden que no todo lo que nosotros decimos en español, en la misma estructura va a tener sentido en inglés. ¿Se recuerdan de los false friends? Eso es un ejemplo de eso. Así que vamos a ver este video. Vamos a ver este video. Pongan atención. Sí, please notice all the tips that the host in the video is remarking about job interviews. All the tips. Let's see. Here we go.
Arguably the most crucial part of the job search. An interview can make or break an opportunity. So to help you really prepare, we're going to dissect and analyze an entire interview from start to finish. I'll be sprinkling in a mix of tips about body language, etiquette, and how to answer common questions. Like, when exactly does the interview start? How do you deal with nerves? How soon can you follow up? For years, athletes have used science and data analysis. Job seekers everywhere. This is job. Meet Anya, a recent grad majoring in business administration. She's interviewing for an entry-level project management position. Note her posture. Head up, shoulders pulled back, no slouching, and no laid backness. The interview begins the minute you walk into the building. Anya treats everyone in the office with respect while keeping eye contact. From security personnel to receptionists, anyone you run into on your way in could be asked to give feedback on you. It's normal to be nervous. When nerves kick in, the natural human response is to take short breaths and breathe faster. Stay calm by taking a deep breath before entering. Hold it, count to 3, and then slowly breathe out. Pause. First, ace those introductions. Greet everyone in a way that is authentic to you, like, hey, nice to meet you, and then say their name. That one always works. You know, you're more likely to remember their name if you say it out loud when you first meet. A lot of the time, small talk comes up before any questions. It's good to have a few current events or topics in mind. You can't possibly predict what they're going to ask, but you can practice answering the common ones, like, why do you want to work here? What makes you unique? Let's see what our interviewer asks.
So I want to hear more. Tell me a little about your experience and what you'd bring to this role.
Pause. When this is asked, they're looking to learn what makes you stand out. Be honest with your answers. If that means having to pause and think for a second, that is all right. Think about your past experiences and how the role lines up with your future goals. It never hurts to be honest.
Great question. Ever since I was young, I've always been the organized one in my family. Whether it was helping my parents schedule vacations or color coordinating my closet, naturally that lifestyle got me here, project management. I've been a people person for as long as I can remember. Plain and simple, I love team building and making sure everyone has a part. Just the other month.
Ooh, just really quick, don't speak negatively about previous places you've worked. Instead, talk about what you've learned.
I helped lead a team of 5 to deliver a 3-week sales project a few days ahead of schedule. I'd love to bring these things here.
Perfect. A response like this not only answers the question, but also shows off her personality. But remember, there's no one right way to interview and answer questions. Be yourself and let your personality shine. Be aware of your movements. Practice polite, confident body language. Subtly miming your interviewer's posture can actually create a sense of connection. Of all places, unnecessary movements are hard to ignore in an interview. Whether it's tapping your fingers or bouncing your leg, be aware and stay present.
Hey, it's been great chatting so far. I guess my last question is, do you have any questions for me?
Ooh, this is a hot one. Make sure to have a short list of questions for your employer in your back pocket. Ask the questions you would if you got the job. If tomorrow was your first day, what would you want to know from the manager? Even if you don't have any burning questions, asking a few shows that you did your homework and that you really care. Some include, what do you like best about working here? What are some mistakes people have made in this position? What is a goal you're currently working toward? How will my performance be evaluated?
Well, I did read that you're expanding your software team next quarter. I'm curious how you plan to carry that out.
The interview isn't actually over. Always follow up within 24 hours with a thank you email to the hiring manager. This can be a quick note simply thanking them for their time, or a longer one that elaborates on some of the things you talked about. It's key to leaving a lasting impression. This was the breakdown of an interview. Till next time.
This video was so powerful, right? Would you like to replay the video, class? Or did you get something from the ideas? I know that probably most of you get a few ideas. So let's do something. Some of you, please share some thoughts or what did you learn from the video, and then we will replay the video focusing on the part of the interview, right? What about that? Good? So tell me, class, what did you learn from the video? Tell me something that you got. Michelle.
Hey, teacher, it's good. I learned about the language body. It's good that when you are in front of the person, the interview, you can to be like this, or
You can to be?
You can be.
Okay.
Can be.
Okay.
And
Very good, Frank. You
Yes,
can be what?
thank
Continue.
so when you are face to face, and two, I learned that you need to be relaxed. You need to take a breath, because we can't to be sure that we will be so nervous. You know what I mean? So we need to control us. Okay. And we need to talk. We need to say the truth always. We need to talk good things about our last job too.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Frank. What about you, Michelle?
Is important show security and is, I don't know, say evitar,
Avoid?
avoid, talk bad about their last company or work, a job.
Excellent. So you can say confidence instead of security. Security, it's used for like bodyguards. So you can say we need to show confidence. Confianza. Security es como seguridad de guardaespaldas.
Teacher, he said, do you have a question for me? What do you recommend that we can say? Do you
That's
have
a good
any
one.
question for me? Or we can say something like, I don't know, when do, o sea, ¿cuándo voy a comenzar? When we'll start to work or something like that? I don't know.
Yes, you can ask something about, especially for your position. And I would recommend to ask about something that we call the KPIs. KPIs is like the key indicators for the job. So you can ask about metrics. KPIs are metrics. You can ask about that. It will show you're interested in the position, but most of all, it's something that will help you to learn, like, if it's something that you can handle or not. Okay, Sara says in the chat, I learned an excellent, falta la C in excellent impression. And I have confidence in me. Great. Okay, now let's watch the video again, especially in the part of the interview. Okay, so we learn about our posture, right? Like relaxed, but showing confidence, and also stay calm, right? Stay calm and take a deep breath. Careful with breath and bread, because if you say breath, it's pan. Breath at the end is respiro. Take a deep breath. Agarren un profundo pan. ¿No? Take a deep breath. Breath. Ese es el sonido que tiene que ir al final de la palabra breath. Breath. Veamos de nuevo la parte de la entrevista.
Pause. First, ace those introductions. Greet everyone in a way that is authentic to you, like, hey, nice to meet you, and then say their name. That one always works. You know, you're more likely to remember their name if you say it out loud when you first meet. A lot of the time, small talk comes up before any questions. It's good to have a few current events or topics in mind. You can't possibly predict what they're gonna ask, but you can practice answering the common ones, like, why do you wanna work here? What makes you unique? Let's see what our interviewer asks.
So I want to hear more. Tell me a little about your experience and what you'd bring to this role.
Pause. When this is asked, they're looking to learn what makes you stand out. Be honest with your answers. If that means having to pause and think for a second, that is all right. Think about your past experiences and how the role lines up with your future goals. It never hurts to be honest.
Great question. Ever since I was young, I've always been the organized one in my family. Whether it was helping my parents schedule vacations or color coordinating my closet, naturally that lifestyle got me here, project management. I've been a people person for as long as I can remember. Plain and simple, I love team building and making sure everyone has a part. Just the other month.
Ooh, just really quick, don't speak negatively about previous places you've worked. Instead, talk about what you've learned.
I helped lead a team of 5 to deliver a 3-week sales project a few days ahead of schedule. I'd love to bring these things here.
Perfect. A response like this not only answers the question, but also shows off her personality. But remember, there's no one right way to interview and answer questions. Be yourself and let your personality shine. Be aware of your movements. Practice polite, confident body language. Subtly miming your interviewer's posture can actually create a sense of connection. Of all places, unnecessary movements are hard to ignore in an interview. Whether it's tapping your fingers or bouncing your leg, be aware and stay present.
Hey, it's been great chatting so far. I guess my last question is, do you have any questions for me?
Ooh, this is a hot one. Make sure to have a short list of questions for your employer in your back pocket. Ask the questions you would if you got the job. If tomorrow was your first day, what would you want to know from the manager? Even if you don't have any burning questions, asking a few shows that you did your homework and that you really care. Some include, what do you like best about working here? What are some mistakes people have made in this position? What is a goal you're currently working toward? How will my performance be evaluated?
Well, I did read that you're expanding your software team next quarter. I'm curious how you plan to carry that out.
The interview isn't actually over. Always follow up within 24 hours with a thank you email to the hiring manager. This can be a quick note simply thanking them for their time, or a longer one that elaborates on some of the things you talked about. It's key to leaving a lasting impression. This was the breakdown of an interview. Till next time.
All right. So class, tell me a few more comments about the video, something that you learned from video. Raise your hand if you want to participate so we can know that you will be participating. Remember, participation, it's important. Who else? ¿Qué aprendió? What did you learn? Miguel.
I don't know, I can't just say in English, pero como visual contact, contacto visual.
Eye contact.
Eye contact, more easy. Eye contact, and don't always in your hands, como no mirarse mucho las manos, los dedos.
Excellent. Body language, right? Body language. It's important. Thank you, Miguel. What about you, Mr. Alex Chivichon?
Thanks. Good morning. I learned in this video to think to think confidently and act confidently when I speak with the other person. We need confidence in myself. It's correct.
You need to be confident. Excellent. It's correct. Thank you, Alex. What about you, Dice?
Oh, it's good to have a list of possible questions for the interview. How do you say that? Interviewer.
For the interviewer?
Interviewer. And it's important to don't talk bad about a last job we have.
That's great. Don't talk about the last experience, speaking negative things, right? Instead of that, you need to share something that you learned from your last position, not specifically from the company, right? We don't mention names in a job interview unless we are asked to, right? Because it's not polite, it's not professional. What else? What else did you learn? What happened with your microphone, Sarah? Sarah said,
What, teacher?
oh, it works. So what did you learn, Sarah? You share it in the chat, but share it with us.
Yes, teacher. I learn ya me olvidó lo que escribí. Siento que pienso más en escribir que cuando lo hablo.
You said that you learn always to be honest. Why?
Because it's bad. How do you say mentir?
Mentir is lie.
Is okay, lie for the company.
All right, thank you. What about you, Israel?
Yeah, lo mismo. So we always need to be honest, and it never hurts. And yeah, I think so. That's all.
Okay, thank you, Israel. What about you, Diane?
I learned the video. I don't know, dice en English, pero cuando yo lo veía que ellos decían que no hay que verse nervios en la posición de body, como no encorvado, sino recto, para cualquier como movimiento, algo así, ¿entendés? No sé cómo se dice.
All right, excellent. What about you, Alison?
I learned that we should not talk about our bad experience in other jobs.
That's right. That's certainly right, because it's not professional. It's not polite. What about you, Frank?
I think that, guys, that we will be like a senior in church. You know what I mean? So we need to be relaxed and maybe to take a time to think positive things. You know what I mean? So I am sure that we'll need it.
Great, thank you. So let me show you an example of a little speech, right? So let's see. Maybe, Sarah, can you take a screenshot of that and share it in the group? Did you?
Teacher, can you give me a favor?
Can I? Of course. Tell me.
Can you write for me the answer for my question? Because I don't hear you very well. Maybe it's for my internet. So can you write for me, please? Can you write for me?
Absolutely.
Thank you, teacher.
So you said I worked as a manager I would say, Misael, that you can say I had a successful group. Porque si dices tuve mi propio team, es como sobreentendido que si fuiste un manager tenías tu propio grupo. Entonces puedes decir, mejor hablar bien de tu grupo, que era exitoso. I had a successful group.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
You're welcome, my friend. So now, let's see. I will give you an example of a speech. This is a speech of someone who had experience before in the in administration programs, right? So let's read it together. Can you help me to read, please? Sergio, can you help me to read this paragraph, please?
Yes, teacher, thanks. Tell me about your last job experience. I had spent 5 years as an executive assistant with Wheeler Inc. in administrative support roles. As a current executive assistant to the CFO, I frequently collaborate with other administrative assistants to perform calendar management, coordinate international travel, and assembly research reports for the financial specialists in our 6 offices around the world. At the beginning of last year, I optimized our email filtering system to improve office communication and reduce the amount of missed message by 28%. I understand that your company depends a lot on email communication, so I want to use my organizational abilities to achieve faster communication processes in this office.
Great, thank you. So, Grammarly, speaking about grammar or Grammarly, on this paragraph, which tenses can you find? How many tenses? Present, future, past, past participle, present perfect.
Perfect tenses.
We find perfect tense. Do we have past tense?
Past,
Yes.
yes.
Yes, we have past tense. We have present tense.
Yes.
Yes, we have present tense. Do we have gerund?
Yeah.
Yes.
Where?
Yes.
Yes, as the beginning.
At the beginning is gerund, but it's not the specific tense of gerund. At the beginning is a phrase, no es un verbo que esté utilizando una estructura de sujeto, más verbo to be, más ing verb.
What does filtering?
Where, let's see. Or
Filtering
email
system.
filtering system. Sí, también usa gerund, solo la palabra. Sí, aunque no usa la estructura completa, pero hoy vamos a aprender cuándo se usa esto sin la estructura completa. Very good. So as you can see, in a conversation, I can use many different tenses, but as I am speaking about my last job experience, I can use present perfect tense and past tense. Okay. I can use both. Sarah, tell me.
Teacher, also is very important. We have good personality in the interview.
That's right. We need to have a good personality, eye contact, right? And our body language is crucial for a job interview. Thank you. Miguel.
What mean the first paragraph? Wheeler
is
with.
Wheeler is the name of the company.
Okay.
Wheeler is the name of the company. So let's see other example. Let's see other example of a job interview. Please help me to read. Elisvan, can you help me to read the paragraph, please, my friend?
Okay, teacher. Yeah. My experience includes a variety of marketing and advertising opportunities. In college, I was an intern and the local radio station where I seen event posters for local concerts and music festivals. Then my work in market research assistant, analyzing consumer data and drafting report for the marketing director. My other positions around me to practice and applying refer to writing and copy, social media posts, and a few radio commercial scripts. As your social media specialist, I would want to continue sharing my research insights and improving my ability to transfer consumer data and actionably enjoying content.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Elisvan. So as we can see, this is for a position of social media specialist. So when we think about a call center, we always think about taking calls, right? But if you have a specialization, right, at college, or if you have a degree, right, and you just need to learn English to work in a call center, you have different positions where you can apply to. Not only an agent, which is very good, but you can work in human resources, you can work in technology, you can be an IT agent to give support to the other accounts, right? You can work as a social media specialist, right? You can work in the financial department of the call center, right? So this is something that we probably don't see because we have not worked in a call center before, but it's something that is real. No solo hay posiciones para agentes de servicio al cliente. Si ustedes tienen algún conocimiento o especialización, busquen también esas posiciones, porque puede ser que nadie esté aplicando para ellas y ustedes pueden trabajar en recursos humanos, finanzas, publicidad, si saben marketing, sobre el marketing del call center, ¿sí? Son posiciones que he visto anuncios donde hay, pero como siempre miramos las más inmediatas que son servicio al cliente, estas cuentas para tomar llamadas, pues vamos a esas. Pero si ustedes sienten que pueden aplicar algo diferente dentro de un call, háganlo, también es válido. Los invito a hacerlo, ¿sí? Por algo están estudiando o estudiaron. Si tienen experiencia en educación, apliquen para ser trainers. Eso también les va a ayudar mucho y va a ser en inglés. Questions so far? Questions?